Hi guys, and welcome to Terminal Velocity. Today I'm going to be telling you my top 10 NES games. These are the NES games that I personally enjoy playing the most. Number 10. The original Super Mario Bros. This is a very great experimental game that brought forth many of the aspects that the Mario series has now, especially the platforming. And it has great levels, and it's a very fun game, and it's continuous. However, it hasn't aged the best, but it is still a very fun game, and it has different secrets that help you it be more enjoyable after playing it multiple times. And it is the first game in Nintendo's largest series. So, if you've never played this, I would definitely recommend it. But overall, it's a pretty good game. Number 9. The Legend of Zelda: Adventure of Link. Although this is a Zelda game, it is very different from all the other games in the series. Instead of being a more above-head camera angle, it's a side-scrolling game that's more like RPGs such as Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. This also has some aspects of games like Castlevania with the side-scrolling action. However, the main story in general is Zelda-ish, and the way the dungeons play out is also similar to Zelda 1. Overall, this is a fun game, however it is very frustrating and difficult, and it's also a little cryptic. But I would still recommend it to anyone who likes Zelda or just RPGs in general. Number 8. Dragon Quest I. This is the first game of the influential Dragon Quest series. While this game isn't like most of the later games, because it has no party members other than the main hero, it has a great soundtrack, great characters, and is one of the first JRPGs of all time, and it set the stage for games such as Final Fantasy and other stuff like that. And this is a very fun game, I would recommend, and although it hasn't aged well, there are a couple remakes, and it's still fun to play, even though it's a little older than the other versions. It is still a fun game, and it has tons of different items and an interesting world and some secrets to find. Number 7. Dragon Quest IV: Chapters of the Chosen. While this game is definitely better than Dragon Quest I still have to put it behind Dragon Quest II and III, as the story is a little bit lacking and the dungeons aren't quite as interesting. Although the game itself is definitely very fun, and it has a great soundtrack and cool characters and lots of a very long story. I also very like the items and the world of this game, and I also like how it splits into different chapters, having different protagonists instead of just one protagonist adding party members. Number 6. Dragon Quest II: The Luminaries of the Legendary Line. This is one of my favorite Dragon Quest games, as well as the second one to ever. It is also the first Dragon Quest game to have a party system, and the world is interesting, the story is great, and it has very good music. The only thing holding this game back is how ridiculously difficult it is. It's even more difficult than The Adventure of Link, which is a very hard game, which makes this game not as fun to pick up and play. Although it still has a great soundtrack and characters and other things, I don't like it as much as 3. Number 5. The original Metroid for the NES. I've talked about this game in my top 10 Metroid games, but it is one of my favorite NES games because it's a very good Metroid game, even though it is 8-bit. It is one of the only games to be very similar to its sequels because it's already pretty good. I like the space adventure and sort of the loneliness that it brings just by being trapped by yourself in a strange planet. It's a very fun game, and there are different items like upgrades for Samus's suit and a very large map. Especially for an NES game, it is very massive and a great soundtrack. Number 4. Dragon Quest III: The Seeds of Salvation. This is one of my favorite Dragon Quest games, and my favorite one on the NES. This is an amazing game with great party members, interesting story, amazing music, and very good battles. While there's some parts about 2 I like more than this, in general this one is I like more. It has better music and characters and story, as well as being probably the best-selling Dragon Quest game, and probably the most popular one, as it legitimately caused the nation of Japan to crash. It's a very good game. I definitely recommend it for anyone who likes JRPGs. Number 3. Mother 1 or Earthbound Beginnings. This is the first game of the Mother trilogy, and one of my favorite NES games. It has a colorful characters, a great soundtrack, interesting story, as well as very good moments, emotional moments, as well as good items, and just a great RPG in general. This is a very good RPG. I would definitely recommend for someone who likes Earthbound or Mother 3, or just, RPGs in general. Number 2. The original Legend of Zelda for the NES. This is one of the first open-world games to ever exist. It's also the first game of probably my favorite video game series, The Legend of Zelda. This game has great items, amazing dungeons, a very good soundtrack, and although it doesn't have very much story, it's still very interesting narrative, and unlike Zelda 2, it is fun to play. Well, I mean, Zelda 2 is fun to play. It's not as stressful as Zelda 2, as it is slightly easier. Overall, this is a very great game. Number 1. Super Mario Bros. 3. While generally I like game series such as Zelda and Dragon Quest and Earthbound more than Mario, this game is one of the best Mario games, and it is very fun to play. It is probably my favorite 2D Mario game, as well as being a very influential game, and one of the best-selling Mario games of all time. I like the level design, the great graphics for being an 8-bit game. It looks very good. The different power-ups, the story, the different world themes. There are a lot of great things about this game. The hidden secrets, how it gets from easy to hard at the end. Overall, this is a very great game I would recommend to any Mario fan. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. And if you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment on it.